more familiarly known as Jehovah, is believed by most Bible scholars to have lived no earlier than 1800 BC, and possibly as late as 1550 BC. Most significant is the realization that for thousands of years, both religions existed simultaneously among closely neighboring peoples. Archaeological, mythological, and historical evidence all reveal that the female religion, far from naturally fading away, was the victim of centuries of continual persecution and suppression by the advocates of the newer religions, which held male deities as supreme. And from these new religions came the creation myth of Adam and Eve and the tale of the loss of paradise. What had life been like for women who lived in a society that venerated a wise and valiant female creator? Why had the members of the later male religions fought so aggressively to suppress that earlier worship, even the very memory of it? What did the legend of Adam and Eve really signify? And when and why was it written? The answers I discovered have formed the contents of this book. When God was a woman, the story of the suppression of women's rights has been written to explain the historical events and political attitudes that led to the writing of the Judeo-Christian myth of the fall, the loss of paradise, and most important, why the blame for that loss was attributed to the woman Eve, and has ever since been placed heavily upon all women. Introduction. Though to many of us today religion appears to be an archaic relic of the past, especially the writings of the Old Testament, which tell of times many centuries before the birth of Christ, to many of our parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents, these writings were still regarded as the sacred gospel, the divine word. In turn, their religious beliefs and subsequent behavior and social patterns have left their imprint on us in various ways. Indeed, the ancient past is not so far removed as we might imagine or prefer to believe. In fact, if we are ever to fully understand how and why man gained the image of the one who accomplishes the greatest and most important deeds, while woman was relegated to the role of ever-patient helper, and subsequently assured that this was the natural state of female-male relationships, it is to these remote periods of human history that we must travel. It is the ancient origins of human civilizations and the initial development of religious patterns we must explore. And this, as you will see, is no easy task. It is shocking to realize how little has been written about the female deities who were worshipped in the most ancient periods of human existence, and exasperating to then confront the fact that even the material there is has been almost totally ignored in popular literature and general education. Most of the information and artifacts concerning the vast female religion, which flourished for thousands of years before the advent of Judaism, Christianity, and the classical age of Greece, have been dug out of the ground, only to be reburied in obscure archaeological texts carefully shelved away in the exclusively protected stacks of university and museum libraries. Quite a few of these were accessible only with the proof of university affiliation or university degree. Many years ago, I set out upon a quest. It eventually led me halfway around the world, from San Francisco to Beirut. I wanted to know more about the ancient goddess religion. Along the way were the libraries, museums, universities, and excavation sites of the United States, Europe, and the Near East. Making my way from place to place, I compiled information from a vast variety of sources, patiently gleaning each little phrase, prayer, or fragment of a legend from a myriad of diverse information. As I gathered this material about the early female deities, I found that many ancient legends had been used as ritual dramas. These were enacted at religious ceremonies of sacred festivals, coinciding with other ritual activities. Statues, murals, inscriptions, clay tablets, and papyri that recorded events, legends, and prayers reveal the form and attitudes of the religion and the nature of the deity. Comments were often found in the literature of one country about the religion or divinities of another. Most interesting was the realization that the myths of each culture that explain their origins were not always the oldest. Newer versions often superseded and displayed